Alright guys, welcome back to Central Hub Emporium. We've got a very special video for you guys today. My phone's at like 6%, so, let's hope that it doesn't die on us. But if it does, I think that'll be maybe a fitting way for the video to end. We got a very, very special video today. Just like I promised you guys. Guess what kind of video we have today? We have a very special video. We're going to be working on the new Fender Pegasus Strat, and we're going to be getting it installed with some new tuners and pickups. So let's go. So I guess before we really get into the video, before we get into the juicy stuff, there's going to be a full review, product showcase, and demonstration, like we always do on this YouTube channel. I just want to get a few things addressed with you guys. There's a few very serious things we need to talk about. Have you guys ever made a mistake before? Like something, maybe you said something, or you posted something online, and you just felt really embarrassed afterwards. Maybe it was like, just a little bit afterwards, it's pretty immediate regret. Maybe it took a few years, and a thought comes back, and you remember it, and it's like, oh, I'm really embarrassed by that. Maybe you try to clean it up, and you try to take it down, or if you said it to somebody in real life, maybe you'll obsess about it when you're trying to go to sleep at night. That's so pathetic, man. That's so embarrassing. Let's think about it. God doesn't want you to fail, okay? He certainly wouldn't be forgiving of any mistakes. Every single situation you encounter in life, every moment, every conversation, every time you wake up, every time you try to pour, a glass into another glass, you're not supposed to spill anything, okay? Every moment in life is supposed to be a W. You're supposed to be always winning all the time. That's the only way to live. And if you've ever made a mistake, and if you ever have done something embarrassing or felt embarrassed before, honestly, you're just pathetic, and you should sign off. You should delete your YouTube channel. You should delete something else. So, that's my message for you guys today. So getting into the review, product showcase, demonstration. We got the EXL115W pickups from Nickel Wound. This is a very good set of electric guitar strings. I think if you buy them individually, actually you can only buy these individually. They actually did change the packaging on these. I would imagine I already tried out the player circle code, but I'll go ahead and I'll double check it. Make sure that I use the actual player circle code. I do not know. I'm getting a little bit of acid reflux from the coffee. This coffee. And usually when I film a video, I'll just start talking. And it doesn't matter if I drink a beer before the video or anything, or if I eat pizza or something acidic like that. It really doesn't matter. It's just sometimes during the videos, something will just start to come up from my throat. And I sound like Rick from the hit television show Rick and Morty, when I'm just trying to talk and it's like something's coming up there. Sound like a seasoned alcoholic, or fucking somebody who eats disgusting Hunt's gas station pizza all day. So we'll sign in to my account. I just gotta remember which email I used. I don't think it's my personal email. I think it's my just regular email account. We're gonna check that box to keep us signed in. This is a different browser than the browser I normally use. This is Google Chrome. I'm usually using a different browser. And yeah, we're gonna see if I redeemed the player circle code point before we get into this review. Just make sure everything's good so far. The code is valid but has been previously registered. So let me see. I'm gonna check to see if This one also has... That's really fucking fascinating. Okay. As you can see, this is the same exact brand of guitar string. Same exact SKU as the EXL115W. Or the W211. So I guess we're going to use the resealable one. So that just must be like a recent change. Like, they must have changed the bags out for the nicer bags. I really do appreciate these resealable bags from EXL115W. I think this is a resealable bag. Yeah, it's got that little Ziploc in there, so we're just going to try to open that up there. It's not open. Okay, there we go. And as you can see, we have all the strings inside of here. Something that always surprises me about electric guitar strings is they're not actually like bronzen, like acoustic guitar strings are. You see how these kind of have like this bronze microfilament on them? These strings are actually kind of old. One of the issues I'm running into here is like, you know, I'm always changing out the strings of my guitars, man. And sometimes I want to make sure all the guitars in my room have fresh pairs of strings on them. So I'll just dedicate like half a day to changing out the strings on all my guitars. And then I just like won't play them for a few weeks, or we'll play them very little. And by the time I get ready to play them, the strings have already fucking oxidized. And it's like, shit, man. I changed all these strings for nothing. But I actually wanted to check the Les Paul here. I'm doing my dogs back there. I don't know if there's one of them. Shut up. I wanted to see the strings, if the strings in the Les Paul are still fresh. They still look pretty fresh to me visually. I must have changed these out relatively recently and also not played them very much, because they haven't oxidized yet. I think these electric guitar strings, they have a different alloy that's like wrapped around the hex core. So I think they may be less susceptible to oxidizing just from being in the room. And I'll make this quick because I've already talked about it on the channel, but like, it seems like strings and like the quality of the sound and stuff goes through like an interesting thing. Well, like they'll sound really good out of the package. I think they'll sound slightly better after you've played them for about an hour or so, because they're not so bright as like just out of the package. Especially it's that way with like phosphor bronze strings, like this bad boy right here from Diodaria. And then after you play it for like about a week or two, depending on how greasy your hands are when you play them, how hard you play it and stuff, you'll get a pretty aggressive dip in quality. And that'll be like the lowest point in the life cycle of your strings, unless they get really, really old. It's like when they first start to go, it'll sound really bad, but then it'll kind of go up a little bit and level out. So that's something interesting about like the life cycle of every string. I appreciate how kind of loud, it's even more like this with an SG sometimes, but how loud a Les Paul is when you just play it acoustically. And that's one of the things about me practicing is that sometimes I like to just pick up the guitar or pick up the bass and just play it acoustically. And I think that's a good way to practice. With bass, it would be useful to get an amp eventually for like the softer playing I'm starting to get into. Because I'm just less tempted to do that when it's unplugged. But if I'm just normally playing like... Well, it's actually touching the Les Paul, so that might make it even a little bit louder after that. You can even put it up against a wall and it'll be even a little bit louder than that. Well, it's touching the Les Paul and the Les Paul is touching the wall. It might be louder, I can't really tell. I could kind of go for a sip of coffee at this point. So yeah, I guess I'm not actually going to be needing to change the strings out. Because they're already fresh, like I mentioned. Hope you guys are enjoying the review so far. More of an intro to the review. So yeah, like we have some guitar here, we're going to demonstrate it. We're going to do a sound showcase and a sound demonstration. The sound showcase actually is different than the sound demonstration. Let me think. Well, yeah, sound demonstration and sound demo. The sound demo is like a little bit more structured. Well, sometimes I use sound demonstration and sound showcase interchangeably. The sound demonstration or the sound showcase is like gonna be improvised and just me playing it in the room, seeing how it sounds without any sort of plan. Sound demo is a little bit more structured. It's got like sections, and I'll take like a piece of music that's already pre-written or something I just wrote, or like a little section of a cover of a song, and I'll put that together for the sound demo. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but it sounds pretty cool. I'm using the yellow Dunlop pick right now. That one is 73 millimeters, as opposed to the standard green one, which is 88 millimeters. I don't know if you guys can hear that, because honestly I got my headphones on right now and I can't really hear that. Sometimes I have to clear my throat during these videos. I hope that doesn't fall. I got it like set up kind of precariously here. There's another guitar there too. Oh yeah, well we have this guitar. You know, there's 3 hangers right there. I could be using those instead of just having them all on the floor. But it looks kind of cool this way. Maybe if I had 6 guitars, I could use the 3 hangers and leave the other 3 on the floor right there. So that would be pretty cool. This pack of cigarettes is empty. I don't even smoke any in here anymore. I just quit them. Ran out of creamer yesterday, so I'm drinking it black. But sometimes I kind of like when I run out of creamer, because when I drink it black, it's like I feel like you feel the caffeine a little bit more when there's no milk or anything in there. And you get that taste. The taste kind of stays in the back of your throat. And until you eat like a nice big meal or something, the taste is just kind of linger there. There's something about that bitter taste. I associate that with energy and waking up in the morning, and you just get like a more pronounced caffeine effect when you drink it just straight up like that. We do have these locking tuners here. These are the Hip Shot locking tuners. That's actually the brand they're from. It came with a universal mounting plate, but it actually fit perfectly into the headstock holes. So I don't think I'm going to need the universal mounting plate, which is pretty refreshing for me. The one thing is, though, it doesn't exactly line up with the pre-drilled holes here. Let's see if you guys can see this. As you can see, there's like these little pre-drilled holes, and when I try to stick it in there, it doesn't line up. Luckily, though, I think if I just install one, I can just hold it like under the gear tension or whatever, and I won't actually, if I need to, I can drill those little holes back here. I probably have the means to do it. But I think I can just hold it under tension. And as you can see, here's the tuner from before. I mean, this one is so much lighter. In fact, I got these custom tuner buttons from Hip Shot to replace the ones that were already on there. There's one tuner left where I didn't change the buttons out on like the new locking tuner set. So there's the button, that's the button it came with. And here are the new buttons. What I really like about these is that they just feel solid. Like, one of these I think weighs almost as much as like the old one. Actually no, the old entire tuner is still heavier than this tuner button. But I bet if I took the old tuner button off and compared it to this one just has to be a nicer quality. It's like a little bit more rotund, and it just seems to be made out of like a higher quality metal. These are all higher quality parts I'm going to be changing out and putting inside of this guitar, and we're going to be doing a whole video for that. There was an issue with the switch tip, so I bought these fucking aftermarket switch tips, man, because I assumed the fact that there are aftermarket switch tips, you know, one would assume that you would be able to actually take this switch tip off, so I thought I would replace the white one with one of these black ones to complement with the black pick guard and stuff. But this thing actually doesn't come off, so if you have any advice with that in the comments, that would be really great. Also, I thought the bridge measurements for the new bridge would be the same as the bridge holes that are already drilled. I thought they were both 2 and 7/32 vintage spec, like bridge holes, vintage style tuner measurements or whatever. Bridge hole measurements. But as you can see, the holes actually don't line up. I was able to get those 2 middle screws in, but the other screws, like, it doesn't line up there. So, like, I don't know where I fucked up. Like, I got the whole, I was sure this was like a vintage spec bridge mounting holes or whatever, but I might have just pulled that out of my ass, because, like, that's been in my head for like 2 years now. It's been 2 years that I've been planning to mod this guitar with these specific parts. And it fits, it's in there, but like when I pull it, it kind of lifts up from the bass side, so hopefully under like string tension and stuff, it'll be a little bit different. And maybe it won't like pull up unevenly. Otherwise I might be able to like kind of drill another hole right here, but there's already a hole there. So if I could get any advice in the comments, would you advise me to try to drill new holes when the new holes would be overlapping with pre-existing holes that are already there? Or would you recommend me to just leave the 2 screws in, or like add another screw? This is like a genuine question. Not part of the joke or the gimmick for the video, where I'm like pretending that I'm actually going to review something, but it never actually gets to the review. Should I drill a new hole there? Should I make all new holes, or just one on the space side? I guess I'm just going to have to see how it operates and how it acts and how it behaves once I actually do install the EXL 115Ws. Speaking of that, I don't think I actually need to change my electric guitar strings yet until I mount the tuners to the headstock. So I'm going to be putting these strings back. But yeah, we are actually getting to the review. We have a new guitar pedal, actually. to be reviewing today. It's plugged in right now. Oh, yeah. A bunch of shit. There it is. I'd give that like about a 6 out of 10.